Hi, my name is Raylene Lewis and I'm a real estate agent in College Station, Texas. What I'm doing today is teaching a class to new agents about what it means to be a buyer's agent and to represent the buyer when showing property. In this case, I'm talking about when you're a realtor and you're going and you're showing a home, what you're supposed to be doing, what you're supposed to be looking for, and how you're supposed to be informing the buyer so that they can make the best decision possible to know which house is right for them. I've had you guys show me some property, and I think a lot of us are on the wrong track when we're starting out. The biggest thing is, has anybody, you go into, let's say, Best Buy, okay, because you need to buy a piece of electronic equipment. And you go into Best Buy, and for example, let's say you're getting a DVD player, okay? I don't know if anybody's been there, but you've got this huge range of DVD players. There's 5 or 6 of them, sometimes more. And they range in price from, you know, sometimes you get your typical basic ones for $35 or $40, up until this other one here that's over $200, right? And they have the little display at the bottom that kind of talks about what each DVD player has. But a lot of the times you're like, I don't, what is, you know, this? I don't understand what they're trying to tell me, and so I don't know if I want to buy this DVD player, or is it worth the $20 to do the upgrade? I mean, are these features I'm going to use? Okay, and so what do? You find somebody, right? And it's somebody who's hopefully, you're hoping when they talk that they're really, really knowledgeable about these DVD players, and they can tell you, this one has this feature, this one has this feature, this one, you know, for $10 more you can get this one which has all these, and I guarantee you're going to use at least 3 of them. So really this is the one that's right for you, considering this is what you want, you know, what your goal is in buying the product. And that's really the way you have to think about it when you're a realtor, when you're selling property. Your job is not to pick out the house for them. Your job is not to, you know, say, ooh, I really like this or I really don't like that, because your tastes and what your needs are completely different. Your job is not to go, oh look, this is the living room and this is the dining room and here's a closet, because that doesn't really give them any information at all. What your job is to point out things about the house and tell them about the house that as buyers they wouldn't normally know about, they wouldn't normally see, they wouldn't normally look for. Okay? And this job starts as soon as you get in the car with them and you start heading to your different neighborhoods. So as you're driving down the road, you are telling them, you are finding out about them as a person, finding out what their interests are, what their goals are in their purchase. Because remember, just because they say, I want a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, does not really mean that's what they want. Or I want 2 living areas. Cody, she's awesome, she found that out just 2 days ago. She was only showing them places with 2 living areas. And the house that they bought, guess how many living areas it had? 1. But it had 5 bedrooms instead of 4. And that actually met their need a little bit better. So you always have to remember to think outside the box. And by getting to know them and being happy with knowing them and finding all about the little details of their life, they're going to feel more comfortable with you. They're going to feel like you really care about them, that you understand what their needs are, and that you yourself can think outside the box and meet those needs. So that when you go to see a house, you can say, look, now this one doesn't have this one feature that you wanted, but it really meets these other 4 criteria that were very important. So I just wanted to throw this one in the mix and see what you think. And more often than not, the more you know about them, the better. The quicker you'll be able to sell the house, and the happier they are, because you're not showing them things that they don't want. Because a lot of times they don't know how to articulate what they want. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is when we go up to a house, and most often than not, it's a house we've never seen before. So the question is, you know, how can we show the house? Well, you have to remember that basically when the buyer is looking at the house, what they care about is almost like basic floor plan to begin with. That's what they're looking at. They're not really looking at any details. So as you're driving to the house, as you're talking about them, let's say you pass by the school or the park or other places, the grocery store. Those are all things as we're going that I point out. That this is how close you are to this. This is how close you are to that. Oh look, you're within walking distance to here. You know, and that's what we talk about. Now, when you get to the house, there's things that you need to look for always, that you need to point out, that the buyer isn't really thinking about, okay? So what I want to talk about is just kind of going through the different rooms and seeing, okay, what is my focus going to be? Because my focus and what I'm looking for is completely different. I mean, everybody knows when you walk into the house, you need to turn on all the lights and everything else. That's common knowledge. But let's say we're walking up to the house, okay? If it's new construction, you're going to look and see what the landscaping is. Because especially in the front and the backyard, you're not going to have as much landscaping typically as you would on the used homes, which people have done a lot of landscaping too, okay? One first thing that you look for is you say, does this property have gutters? Does this property need gutters? And the easy way to see that is when you're walking up to the house and you have the roof and it comes straight down right over the entryway, you know that that's going to be a waterfall as you're walking under. So things like that are something that you would point out. So you're going to look at the landscaping. You're just going to make small comments. You don't want to walk in the house and just start talking their ear off. You're there to let them look at everything on their own and just point out a few details that are important. So we're in the exterior, we're walking out, we can say something about the landscaping like, oh, it looks like they've done a nice upgrade in their landscaping, even on an existing home. You know, or this home really could use a few bushes here. Look at the paint. Look underneath the soffit. Okay, does it look like it's going to need to be repainted? Or does it look like it's been freshly painted? Those are things that you can comment on as well. Does it have gutters? If you see, I don't generally typically comment on the roof, but if you specifically see problems like bunches of shingles coming off in your lower end, you might want to say, oh, this is something we might have to consider. It looks like the roof might be a little bit old. We need to be sure to check that out. Okay, then you walk up, you open the door, you're walking into the property. What are things that you're looking for? Okay, in the entryway, always, every time you're looking into the house, things that you look for is the ceiling. Is there any major patchwork? Are there any major leaks that obviously have been there that have been taken care of? Normally, if there's a leak up there, what is it? Anybody know?
A drip from the air conditioner.
Right, it's a heat and AC leak. And so usually it's dry and it's not a big deal, but it's just something that you point out, oh, it looks like they had an AC leak. That's probably fine, but it's something we just want to get checked out. And then you're quietly looking around. You can comment if they've repainted the house, if it's new paint. You walk into the house and there's a blue room, you know, and you know that they've got all girls. It's fun to say, or generally it's a lot more fun when it's all pink room and they have all boys. You can say something like, oh, this is all pink, is that okay with you? Most of the time we'll be like, oh, you know, it's a little paint, we can fix that, and it's not a big deal. Other things that you look at when you're walking into the house, pointing out if there is crown molding on the ceilings or not any, those extra special upgrades. Pointing out if the lighting fixtures have been upgraded or not. When you walk into the bathrooms, are they the little plastic knobs that you find in your little rental properties typically, or your lower end homes? Or in this house, has somebody gone ahead and put in some new faucet fixtures, new toilet fixtures, new countertops, that sort of thing. I have a lot of times when I'm showing older people, they really like to think about back in the day.